The mighty Majingilane males were born between 2004 and 2005. They were 5 brothers. By 2009, their solo journey apart from their main pride started, and so they moved south toward Sabi sands. The brothers decided to stick together, and the gang started causing a big stir in their new territory, challenging their predecessors. By 2010, the new coalition faced off against 2 formidable Mapogo males, Mr. T and Kinky Tail. The encounter was brutal. The Mapogos managed to isolate and kill one of the Majingilane, breaking his spine with their sheer force. But the remaining 4 Majingilane lions managed to strike back with a night attack and killed Kinky Tail. Mr. T joined his other remaining brothers again in the western sector of the Sabi sands. Everyone was holding their breath for a big showdown between the 2 coalitions, but this never happened. The remaining 4 Majingilane males managed to take control of most of the Londolozi Reserve area. Following in the brutal footsteps of their predecessors, they purged the land of all the lions not bowing to their dominion. Settling into their new territory, the first pride that was targeted by the Majingilane coalition was the much-loved Salala pride. Out of the 8 subadults, 4 were killed. Only the 4 younger lionesses and their 3 mothers survived. By 2010, the 2 adult lionesses succumbed to their powers and started mating with the enemy. Survival of the fittest took over, and even though the Majingilane males had killed their cubs, they knew that the strongest and best genes had to be passed on. Their next target was the Sparta pride. The Majingilanes killed 2 of the 3 cubs, and by the beginning of 2011, quite a few pride members were missing. The pride had been split up, and not wanting to draw attention to themselves, they did not call out to each other. This means they could not reunite to stand their ground against the attack. The Majingilane lions grew stronger, with their manes darkening and thickening, and they took over more and more land. They reigned the land for over 7 years, making their mark. The mighty Majingilane male lions definitely ruffled feathers with their arrival, similar to the way the Mapogo coalition sowed havoc. The Majingilanes greatly affected the lion population of the Sabi sands. Their reputation rests on a few factors. Firstly, the size of their territory, as well as the number of pride takeovers they managed. Not quite as infamous as the Mapogo coalition, the Majingilane lions were just as powerful. The brothers were born in the Orphan area of the Kruger National Park. They meandered into the Sabi Sands Reserve at the beginning of 2010. They dominated 5 prides in total. The Majingilane lions were named according to prominent physical features: dark mane, golden mane, scar nose, and hip scar. The death of Kinky Tail. During the same night, the 4 other Majingilane lions were seen on the move, hunting down Kinky Tail. He had been led into a trap by 2 of the new males until he was surrounded by all 4 challengers. They managed to pin him down, one biting his neck, another his back, while a third bit off Kinky Tail's testicles and genitalia. They finally snapped his spine. Mr. T tried to rescue Kinky Tail and fight off the Majingilanes, but he was greatly outnumbered and had to retreat. 2 of the young lions attempted to track and follow after Mr. T but were unsuccessful. So they returned to finish off Kinky Tail. Echoing the Mapogo's own cannibalism, the 4 lions started eating Kinky Tail's hind legs and tail. He was being eaten alive. Mr. T returned to the rest of the coalition. He had not been part of the breeding in the Singida area and proceeded to kill all the cubs in the Western Bloc. This earned him the nickname Satan. On average, a male lion lives to the age of 10. As part of a coalition, they can maybe stretch their lifespan a little bit further. But because the battle for dominance over their territory is so fierce, They usually don't make it much further than a decade of domination. By the end of the Majingilane coalition, the four brothers split up. The first brother to pass away was the hip scar male. People following the journey of the formidable four lions had predicted that he would be first to die. He seemed to be the outsider, mostly a loner away from the group. Sometimes the other brothers would ignore his roars, not answering immediately. Next, the golden maned lion went missing. Reports say that he was badly injured during a buffalo hunt, and an old lion's chances of recovering from such an ordeal are slim to none. He succumbed to his injuries. The dark mane and scar-nosed males were the core members of the coalition. They were constantly seen together, almost as if inseparable. In the end, they also split up, both emaciated. After 8 years of a reign of terror, it was old age that crumbled their dominion.